The Rams didn't just build a Super Bowl team, they built a monster. Stafford, Puka, Davante, Garrett, McDuffie, an NFL infinity gauntlet. But there's one terrifying flaw. One injury could make the whole thing collapse.
You guys were the Super Bowl favorites, and then you added the best defensive player in football in Myles Garrett and became even bigger Super Bowl favorites. How are you dealing with the overwhelming expectations on the outside of this is a Super Bowl team, and a Super Bowl team, a super team, and anything short of a championship would be a disappointment?
Right. I think it goes to the point of, this pressure that we, are getting, or this pressure that is going to come upon us. It's a privilege, being able to know that these are the things that we pray for. These are things that we work for. And these are things that we come to each and every single day to go do. We don't go to practice just to get better, or just to, we're practicing for real life to, we do go to practice to get better, but we don't go to practice just to, check the boxes or whatnot. Like, we're going to practice, we're getting better, we're focused on what it is that we got to get better at, and we're dominating that. We're not coming off the field until we feel as if those things that, we thought that we need to get better on got better at. So I think just the way that we are right now, this vibe of this team, man, we got workers. And, these guys are going to come in and work each and every single day. Because like I said, this pressure that we, that's going to come throughout the season is a privilege. We got the guys in this building that, are able to live up to that pressure and execute it at the highest level. So I'm super excited.
But pressure isn't the only threat waiting for this super team. The real danger is what happens when the stars disappear, and suddenly there may be nobody behind them.
Depth is the biggest thing keeping the Rams from being number one on this list. And we've seen it. We just talked about your San Francisco 49ers. If you don't have good depth, it's going to be a struggle for you, because sooner or later, somebody's going to get nicked up or dinged. Now, when you look at this team, you talked about it, tons of star power, right? It kind of reminds me of the Infinity Gauntlet that Thanos wore. Like, they have an Infinity Stone at every position, right? Puka Nacua, second in the NFL in receiving yards, first in receptions. The quarterback, Matt Stafford, another Infinity Stone, MVP last year. Defensive Player of the Year, Myles Garrett. Trent McDuffie, perennial All-Pro. They bring him in as well. And then Davante Adams, the last Infinity Stone, led the NFL in receiving touchdowns. But when you look at all those guys and you look at the player behind them, you're like, where's the depth? So if somebody gets dinged up, that could be questionable for the Rams going forward. And we saw the Seattle Seahawks and what they did, and we're going to talk about them later, what they did to the New England Patriots in that Super Bowl. They come at you at waves on defense. Now, Sean McVay is one of the best offensive-minded play callers in all of football. No matter what, he rolls out of bed, the Rams are going to win 10 to 11 games every year. They're thinking that this Myles Garrett trade and also Trent McDuffie trade gets them over the top, and maybe Aaron Donald comes back as well. But I have real concerns when I look at the depth of this team. A lot of frontline star power, but where's the depth?
Oh, I agree with you 1,000%, Lige. And I feel like that schedule right there for the Rams, that's going to be a very physical road until they get to their first matchup with Seattle, boy. So they're in trouble. They have to have depth. They have to build that right now throughout the preseason.
Well, and I think a lot of this relies on Matthew Stafford. We thought maybe he was going to have a down year last year, as you said, MVP, but he's still got those back problems. They're traveling a lot as well, so we shall see. But finally...
And just when the depth problem raises enough alarms, McVay reveals something even stranger. The Rams are keeping their biggest travel decision completely locked down, and for a reason.
Have you finalized plans for when you guys are going to leave for Australia? How you're going to handle that trip?
Yeah, but I'd rather just kind of keep it in-house.
Why?
I just, because it doesn't. What's the reason to talk about it? I honestly, I would respectfully just say, yeah, we have, but I'd prefer not to talk about it.
Is it a strategic thing?
I just don't want to talk about it. I don't. What does it matter?
Well, a lot fans, I think, are curious. You guys,
fans won't be there long enough for the fans to really have any curiosity.
You guys have taken different ways of doing it compared to a lot of NFL teams. Last year, you went to London, very short turnaround, played very well against the Jaguars. This is a longer trip, and are you going to do something similar, or are you going to give yourself more runway?
Yeah, I'd rather not talk about it.
You don't see McVay like that a lot. That is great.
No.
Yeah.
And we're going to know. It's not like they secretly travel. We will know. We will know just from their social media team. Remember all those business trip? Oh, business trip in Melbourne. We'll know when they're walking out to the plane. We'll know when they go wheels down. We'll know when they leave. But the reports were they're going to get there the day before and they're going to leave the day after. And they must have some sports science expert.
That's what it is, right?
Tells them, go ahead and do it. But, man, that's that's going to be – because the 49ers are going to be like 8 days. They're going to go in. Whoever wins and loses that game, that's going to be the factor that people point to.
Yeah, right. It's going to be a big deal.
Because one team was ready, one team wasn't, or one team was too ready, and the other team realized to just show up and play.
Yeah, well, they're taking – it's the total opposite approach of the 49ers. The 49ers, if they do this, what we're talking about – the 49ers are going to get adjusted to Australia. LA's going, we don't even want to get adjusted. It's wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. We're going in to play football. We're not going to let the next week and, the 10 days after that still be affected because we hung out there for a week and got on Australia time. So they're going to take that approach. There is that conversation. I don't know what the sports science really says behind that, but I know there's teams that believe in that, and there are teams that believe in the way the 49ers are doing it. And I think your point about he didn't tell the team yet half these guys aren't going to be on the team, so he isn't ready to tell them to go, hey, the other 47 guys that aren't going to be on the team, this is our travel plans to Australia, right? They're not there yet. As soon as they make that last cut, they'll have a team meeting, they'll go through it, he'll explain it and why they're doing what they're doing, but it's the 49ers, it's his buddy Shanahan, it's strategery at its finest here by McVay and the Rams. I love that phrase.
Some of the guys on the Rams roster may be playing for the 49ers by the time.
That's another thing, too. Exactly. So that was great. That was about as chippy as you see McVay get right there. So that was kind of funny to watch.
The Los Angeles Rams didn't just build a Super Bowl contender. They built an NFL infinity gauntlet. And somehow, every new addition made the monster even more terrifying. Matthew Stafford at quarterback, Puka Nacua, who finished second in the NFL in receiving yards and first in receptions, Davante Adams, who led the league in receiving touchdowns, Trent McDuffie, a perennial All-Pro. And then came the move that sent the entire league into panic mode, Myles Garrett, arguably the most dominant defensive player in football. The Rams were already Super Bowl favorites. Then they added Garrett and somehow became even bigger favorites. But here's the uncomfortable question. What happens when one of those infinity stones disappears? Because for all that superstar brilliance, there is one problem that could turn this dream roster into a nightmare almost overnight. Depth. That's the word nobody wants to hear in Los Angeles right now. The Rams have elite players at the top of the roster, but look underneath the stars, and the picture gets much more uncomfortable. One injury to a foundational piece, and suddenly the question changes from can the Rams win the Super Bowl to can they survive the season? And this isn't theoretical. In the NFL, somebody gets nicked up, somebody gets dinged. It happens every single week. Seattle showed what championship depth looks like. A defense that attacks in waves instead of depending on one superstar. That is the difference between a great roster and a sustainable roster. And the Rams may have the most frightening frontline talent in football, but frontline talent doesn't play every snap forever. And that becomes even more dangerous when you remember who the entire operation still depends on. Because no matter how many weapons Sean McVay adds, Matthew Stafford remains the engine. People wondered whether Stafford might finally decline last season. Instead, he delivered an MVP-caliber campaign and proved once again that age had not erased his ability to take over games. But there's another side to that story. Stafford still has the back issues, and the Rams are facing a physically demanding schedule with significant travel. So the pressure isn't simply about Stafford being great. It's about Stafford staying healthy. That's the brutal reality of a roster built this top-heavy. If your biggest stars stay upright, you look unstoppable. If one or two disappear, the entire structure suddenly starts shaking. And that is why this Super Bowl chase could be one of the most fascinating and dangerous experiments in the NFL. But just when the roster questions become loud enough, Sean McVay adds another mystery, and this one involves a trip halfway around the world. The Rams are heading to Australia, and when Sean McVay was asked how they plan to handle the travel, he shut the door. Had they finalized the plan? Yeah, but I'd rather just kind of keep it in-house. Asked again about whether they would arrive early to adjust? I'd rather not talk about it. That is not exactly McVay giving away the playbook. And there's a reason this matters. The Rams and 49ers are reportedly taking completely different approaches to the Australia trip. San Francisco is expected to spend more time adjusting to Australia. Los Angeles appears prepared to go the opposite direction. Get there, play football, and get out. It's a massive gamble. If the Rams nail the science, McVay looks like a genius. If they don't, every tired leg, every slow start, and every injury becomes ammunition for the critics. And suddenly, the Rams' biggest story isn't just whether they have enough talent, it's whether all that talent can actually survive the journey. That's what makes this Rams team so dangerous and so vulnerable. They have Stafford, Puka, Davante, McDuffie, Garrett, maybe even the possibility of another Aaron Donald return. That is an absurd collection of talent. But the NFL doesn't award championships for having the best starting lineup on paper. It rewards the team that survives 17 games, injuries, travel, pressure, and playoff football. The Rams are betting that their superstars can stay healthy, that McVay can squeeze every ounce out of the roster, and that the additions of Garrett and McDuffie finally push them over the top. And if they stay healthy, this team could be terrifying. But lose 2 or 3 critical pieces, and that infinity gauntlet suddenly starts looking like a pile of broken stones. The Rams may have assembled the most dangerous collection of stars in football, but the Super Bowl won't be decided by how powerful this monster looks at full strength. It will be decided by one terrifying question. How much of the monster is still standing when January arrives? Thank you for watching Sport Current. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, and share this video to support the channel. Turn on notifications so you never miss the latest NFL and WNBA news, breaking stories, game updates, trades, and the biggest moments in American sports. Stay tuned for more updates, and we'll see you in the next video right here on Sport Current.